Hi everyone, my name is Virginia Grande, my pronouns are she, they, you're welcome to use either of these. And I, together with Päivi Kinnunen and Anne-Kathrin Peters, will be leading this ITiCSE working group on teachers in computing as role models. And so what are we going to be looking into? We're going to be focusing on higher education, and if you read the literature on broadening participation in this context, we can see that role models are perceived as important. Because we have computing as a male-dominated field where certain ways of being and participating in the discipline get a lot of visibility, and the ways outside of these norms are not. So this is what we want to address. There's research on role models being important, but not so much research on how it actually works and what are the aspects and achievements that role models can represent for others to increase retention and access to computing. So this is what we'll be focusing on. We're going to be looking at what is it that teachers model, and we'll do so using a general approach to role modeling, but also focusing on professional competencies and emotions in particular. And you can see a relationship between those two. So we'll be using the teacher's perspective. We want to see what teachers reflect on when they think about their role modeling. What is it that they model? What is it that they don't model but think they should be modeling? And what is it that they should be avoiding to model, and so on. So we'll use a role modeling framework to analyze this data. And we'll situate our findings using theory from science identities and computing education research, of course. Now, what we aim to contribute to with this work is the development of teachers' competencies, and these teachers belonging to certain contexts. We also want to contribute to, for example, the development of departments' teaching culture and the reflection of these teachers that belong to this. And again, we hope to give more visibility to ways of being and participating in computing that are outside of the norm. So, for example, if we have a teacher that represents caring for the planet and our impact through the technology that we produce, then students who have this similar care or interest can persist in computing. So how are we planning to organize our work? Well, this is a draft that the three working group leaders have put together, but that we expect to adapt depending on the interest and availability of the people working with us. We'll know who these are by around mid-April. So we'll contact you to see your availability for the monthly meetings that we plan to have. And the first one will be around April 20th, where each of us will have the opportunity to discuss, as you did in your applications, or you're going to do in your applications, why are you interested in the working group in particular, how you think you can contribute, and so on, which will help us detail our research questions and start brainstorming on data collection. The idea we have so far is to have a survey, an international survey for teachers, but we also could look into local data collection for some of the participants. So we'll start by reading some literature, and then throughout the whole work, we're going to be drafting this report. So we'll start with introduction and background at this point in time. Then we'll move on to distributing the survey that I mentioned and doing the local data collection, which should give us some input for the method part of the draft. And in June, we'll be working on the data analysis, which we will divide in, again, general approach, professional competencies, and emotions, but working quite closely together in these three groups. So if you're unsure of how you could fit into one of these, please discuss with us because they're not so independent, so to speak. And then the 3 days before the conference, the three of us plan to stay there on site, the working group leaders, but we chose a hybrid option so that anyone who won't be on site can still participate. And then we will be finishing the analysis and the draft report with results, discussions, and conclusions. So please reach out if you have any questions. We look forward to seeing how we can make it work so that you can be part of this, and looking forward to reading your applications. Thank you.